7 of the stage communication. We'll talk about these levels because these are levels that just say master one at a time. And again, I'm not telling you this because you need to do this. I'm telling you this and equipping you so that you could take future communicators and say, just work one level at a time and then stack those levels as you go. And you can even determine to say, hey, you're doing great here. And this is what you need to work on next. Hey, this is what you need to work on next. So create a dynamic connection at all levels of communication. This is the goal. So this is when you master the 4 levels, that's what you're trying to get at. So the method to do that is match the moment, match the room, understand the room. We're gonna, like I said yesterday, we'd have a very different room if there's only 10 of us than if there's 25 of us. So find out that dynamic, match the moment, and then lastly, is it effective? The only way you know you're effective is if it moves people to action. Does it move people to action? So metrics determine the effectiveness of your communication, how many people got connected, went to serve, signed up for the event, whatever it is. Match it. Even ask after the first service, how many signups did we have? Was that right? What felt good? Like get real-time feedback. Okay, so here's the 4 levels. The first level is cover the content and hit the clock. If you don't have a clock and it's not in your standard to have a clock, just for a season, give yourself a clock. A clock does something. It says what I could say in 5 minutes is not nearly as clear as what I could say the same thing in 3 minutes. Yeah. I'm gonna be more pointed, I'm gonna be more rehearsed, I'm gonna be more on my transitions if I give myself a parameter to get that stuff communicated. Now, if you give yourself a clock and there is no clock within your standards or in your organization and you go a little bit over, that's fine. But at least you've tightened it up and you say, I know where I'm going with these things and I know how to transition. Not just like, I'm just gonna wing it, I got plenty of time, we're flowing, whatever. Like, don't hang your hat on that all the time. So cover the content, hit the clock, ask yourself, what do they need to know? How much time do I have to tell them that? Then think about maintaining your personality in the content. Express it through the content. Don't be a game show host, okay? Hey, everybody, welcome. You got a stage voice. If you hear people and say you got a stage voice, then that's what breaking that authentic, real, have some dynamic range, find that range. But that's the second point. I'd rather you be robotic and clear than natural and confusing, okay? So cover the content, hit the clock. As you start, say, hey, I'd rather you be robotic and clear than natural and confusing. But as you go into the second level.
We want them to develop from
that. Yes, as a second level, we're level 1. As we go to the second level, it's saying get comfortable on stage, okay? Your mannerism says a lot. I remember very clearly, as I'm talking, I think about what I'm gonna go or where I'm going next, and so I realize I look down a lot when I communicate on stage. I'm not looking at anybody, but I am thinking about what I'm saying next and where I'm going. And it's like, whoa, watch yourself. Do you pace? Are your hands in your pockets? Do you do?
And I would just add, whether it's yourself or somebody that you're developing, practice in the place they're going to be delivering it. I might be great practicing behind stage and hit everything, look you in the eye.
Yeah.
But you put me on that platform, and it just changes everything. Or even if it's a huddle and you don't realize you're practicing in a small classroom, but you're gonna be in a big open place. Again, practice where it is so that they're used to that environment, you're used to it, the level of the voice that you need to have, where you're gonna be looking, all of that stuff.
Recognize that you're a host. Whether you call it host moments or announcement, whatever you call it, recognize you're the host. You're probably the first person that's spoken directly to them. And just by your natural position on stage, they think you're in control. Act like it. They're in your house. Take them. Hey, welcome. Come on in. Put your stuff down. I want you to feel comfortable. If you didn't grab a cup of coffee, that's fine. We'll have more afterwards. Cannot wait to meet you. Hey, we don't have coffee in here. Whatever. I don't know.
Even if you think you know everybody in the room, say your name.
Yes,
introduce yourself, please. The person that's sitting in the chair for the first time or in the huddle for the first time may not know that you do this every week because their first week you weren't there. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, be relatable, real. help people think I want to hang out with that person. Just be yourself. Third level, genuinely help people. So now you've mastered the content, you hit your clock, you've kind of found your voice. Like, for me, humor breaks the tension. So it's like, I'm gonna find something, or if I have a connection with somebody, I'm gonna let somebody in on that inside joke or something. Like, that's gonna be my voice. But now you're thinking, who's in the room? So often we're like, here's my stuff, here's the clock I gotta hit, I gotta just be relatable, done. Now you're saying, think about those who are far from God. Think about the times that you had some struggle in your life and you just barely made it to church. Think about the single mom that's coming in, the person that just worked the night shift. Like, put yourself in those shoes just for a moment, and you'll see how it kind of changes. You instantly have a little bit more compassion, a little bit softness for what's going on, because you're not just in your world like, gotta get the pipe and drape up, do this, huddle, rally, hey everybody, welcome, it's gonna be amazing. It's like, hey, I know so many of you are walking through something in this season. We wanna be the place where you find hope and healing. Like, so just knowing who's in the room really does change how you communicate and how you process some of those things. Last level. You've now made the connection of the content with the people in the room, and this is the last one I think you can master, is move the mission forward. It's now connecting that heart and the people that are in the room with their next steps, okay? So what do people need to know this week for next month? Connect everything you're saying to a larger action or value to reinforce the behavior you want repeated. We have something for you here. Let me help you take that next step. So again, I'm talking about in 3 minutes, there's the ability to do that, because you're capturing their heart, you're giving something for their head, and eventually we can help by coming around them. It's not gonna happen from stage, but we have next steps for them to take to where that can happen. So the goal is that the host is not trying to make an impression about yourself, but help people feel comfortable at your church. It's not. Yeah. It's not about you. Like, and we know that, but man, it's real hard to fight that. Like, did I do a good job? Was that helpful? It's like, again, if you go back to the metrics, did that move people to action? Then it's a win.